Most of us have somebody in our lives that doubts us. Most of us have that one person that continually beats us down. Most of us have that one person that no matter how hard we try, you can't do this. You're pathetic. Why do you bother? Why are we still here? We have talked about this. Most of us have that critic that just wants to hold us back. That critic that doesn't accept that we are pretty good at this. If we keep on this path, we can be pretty damn good at this, but we all have that critic. For most of us, that critic is our internal dialogue. Let yourself be free, be your own biggest fan, support yourself, and start telling yourself, I can do this, we will do this, and keep pushing forward. Way to crush a Saturday.
Okay guys, so today I'm going to talk you through how you can incorporate some speed into what you're doing. Let's be honest, in most walks of life, nature, running, speed is an advantage, it helps. I'm going to talk you through how you could safely start to incorporate some speed into your training, how it might help some of your training, and how you would go about including it into a week's training. What are strides? What would be a good warm-up? How's it going to help? Is it going to benefit your running? Is it going to help you run personal best? You're here because you want to be better at running. This will really help your running. So the first thing that we do is a nice and easy warm-up jog. I did 4K, it's nice and slow. And then we move into what we call sort of like some stretching drills and then some sort of a more of a dynamic warm-up. So some of that is just getting the body moving, bridging the gap between we've just jogged easy to then we're gonna do strides and then we're gonna talk about strides. But these drills are just starting to get the muscles a bit more activated, a bit warmer, switching some of those fast twitch fibers on so that before you start your speed, you don't go and tear a muscle. That's not what we want. So I'll go through some of these warm-up drills, then we'll do what's called strides. Strides are again bridging that gap from we've done our slow warm-up, we've done our warm-up drills, now we're doing our strides, we're really getting those muscles switched on, and on a day that you're going to practice speed, you need to do those strides. So let's get some of the warm-up done.
Step 1, go for an easy warm-up jog. Get the muscles warm. Step 2, start your warm-up running drills. The first exercise is high knees. Remember to keep the chest up nice and tall and find a fast rhythm off the ground. Drill number 2, bum kicks. Fast feet off the ground, chest up nice and tall. Don't forget your pelvis position. Keep it tucked. Exercise 3, skipping. Now we're opposite arm, opposite leg. Chest up nice and tall, fast feet off the ground, heel towards the bum, think of a string pulling you to the sky, keep the body up tall.
Through, we're like a piece of string pulling you up, and so that's your dry phase, and like bum kicks is more of a slap, whereas that's more, okay.
Exercise 4, follow that running action. Heel to bum, kick the leg out. Fast feet off the ground, keep the body up nice and tall. Exercise 5, walking lunges, opposite arm, opposite leg. Tuck the pelvis, keep the chest up nice and tall and stretch that arm across the body. This will stretch the psoas. When the psoas is tight, you can have trouble breathing. This is because the psoas attaches to the back of the diaphragm. Excellent exercise and include it in your warm-up. Exercise 6, walking lunges without the psoas stretch. Make these a little more upbeat. Keep the pelvis tucked, chest up nice and tall, opposite arm, opposite leg. Exercise 7, straight leg pogos. Get those hamstrings moving just before we start our strides.
Alright, so we've done a couple of those drills. Some of them are a bit of stretching, some of them are moving into getting the muscles firing, getting the muscles activated. Now we're going to change our shoes out of that everyday running shoe into what you're gonna run a little bit faster. And it's good to have a couple of pair of shoes. These are just an everyday running shoe, keep me healthy. Now I'm gonna move into more of a racing shoe. It's a bit lighter weight, and running speed and that kind of a shoe feels a bit better. I'll get those shoes on and then we'll do the strides. Strides are gonna be, probably starts at half marathon pace and then it gradually gets to 10k pace and then 5k pace. I'm gonna suggest 3 to 4 strides, 50 to 60 meters long, and then you can slowly walk, jog back. These are gonna bridge that gap between the warm up and then getting into the speed. During this early phase of training, speed is still important, but the way I incorporate speed into the training while still getting a pretty good session done is by doing 200 meters, like pretty fast. So around your sort of the pace that you could run a 1 mile or a 3k, in that range, 1 mile to 2 mile, let's say, or 1500 to 3k, if you were going pretty much all out. And I run 200 meters at that pace. So for me, it's 30 to 32 seconds. And then I do 1k where I slow it right down, not to easy pace, but kind of a steady endurance pace. And so that's kind of like the days that you go run easy, I might run at 4 minutes to 4:20 per K. That's kind of probably like 6:40 to 7 minute mile pace. The speed that I'm gonna do the 1K straight after the 200 meters fast is around 6 minutes per mile, 3:45 per K. So it's not slowing it right down to the pace you run on easy days, but it's not marathon pace and it's not half marathon pace. It's kind of in between. And what that does is we do that 200 fast, which is brilliant for working on our speed, but we generate a little bit of lactic acid, a little bit of fatigue in the legs. That 1K, that little bit easier, it just brings that fatigue level down and flushes. It has this flush effect. Then you take 90 seconds rest and you go again. If it's your first time doing it, you might want to start with 100 meter fast and then maybe 500 to 800 meters at that sort of steady or easy pace, and then take your 90 seconds rest. You also might want to start with just doing, for example, 4 or 5 of these and gradually get to the point that you're doing a bit more. But it's a good session, gives your body some speed, and it teaches your body to flush that lactate while still moving at an active recovery pace. All right, job done. So that was 8 times 200 meters fast, like we talked about, 30 to 32, and then 1K, kind of like a float kind of tempo. I hate the word tempo. 1K active recovery, that's what we're gonna call it. So 1K active recovery. And that helps to flush the lactate a bit. It's a bit of a ball buster at 7,000 feet because that 200 puts that little bit of lactate in your legs and then you feel it. And then that first sort of like 400 meters of that active recovery, it feels a little bit gnarly. But look, job well done. I felt a lot better doing it this time than I did the last time I did it, which was about 10 days ago. That heart rate came down a little bit on that kind of like active recovery. But yeah, that's a really solid session to do. If you're going to start to incorporate some of that speed stuff and you want to get a bit quicker, and let's be honest, it's really going to help, the fastest person wins the race. These are the things to think about. In the warm-up, make sure you're doing that warm-up. Make sure you're giving your muscles a chance. Give them a chance to not get injured when you jump into that speed. Make sure your warm-up includes some of those drills that I showed you, and also start to think about when I get really stiff after racing marathons, it honestly feels like if I went and did a sprint, I'd tear a muscle. Start to think about, if you think like that, what's holding you back? Is it tight hip flexors, tight hamstrings? And then start to work on them during the week in a bit of a mobility routine. In your stride, start to think about how's the body moving? Where are my shoulders at? Am I too tense? Am I holding my arms too stiff? Start to think about these things and then practice that in your quicker reps. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and take care.
If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget you can check out joggingroom.com. There's warm-up routines, activation routines, all those running drills that you've just seen. 12 hours of tips and tutorials, over 60 lectures, nutrition, recovery, strength conditioning, all things running. Check it out. You won't be disappointed, and I guarantee you'll run better if you join the class.